can this Anker Solix F2000 run? Full-size kitchen refrigerator, 120 volt mini split heat pump, a full-size household vacuum cleaner, electric hot plate, high-end desktop gaming PC workstation, a batch of wash, a household microwave, a whole home gas furnace. We're going to see how fast this unit will recharge. We've got two things to unbox from Anker Solix today. Start with the top and work our way down. Alright, we got this big beefy cable that will connect the battery to the power station. Got some documentation right here. And here's the battery. This is the front. There's a button right here, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything at this point. Just some carrying handles and ventilation. And then on the back, we have a single port for the expansion cable to plug into. And that's pretty much it. It is rated at 2048 watt hours. And I always like knowing this. It's a 51.2 volt battery pack. It has a maximum output current of 80 amps. Let's keep going with box number 2. Okay, we've got this combiner box, it appears. Multiple XT60 inputs to a single XT60 output. Got an AC charging cable, and I like to notice the little details. Anker is always so good at providing little cable ties so that you can keep your cords organized. I love that about Anker. Here's the power station itself. See if it turns on. Nothing's turning on. Let's see if it'll take a charge. Maybe it's in some kind of deep sleep mode to protect its battery. Yes, indeed. That is exactly what needed to happen. Let's be honest, we all want to see the testing, so I'm not going to spend too much time on the outside information. It's pretty self-explanatory. Let me see if I can do this super fast in less than 2 minutes. Super awesome light bar here. We've got low, medium, high, and off. No SOS, no strobe. I gotta give Anker a big pat for that. Good job, guys. Obviously the display here, this button turns on the display, and we've got 2 buttons here that we'll have to find out what those do. It appears this is to connect to your app, and the power saving mode, we'll have to see what that is. Your AC outlets here, AC inverter switch right there, 2 12 volt cigarette style plugs, on off switch there, and then gotta love Anker and their USB ports. No dinosaur ports here. We've got 2 fast charge USB type A's and 3 type C ports. Love to see that. On the end over here, we have no ports, just ventilation, but we do have the extending handle right here. On the back here, we've got this very cool magnetized cover. AC input, resettable circuit breaker. DC input, 11 to 32 volts at 10 amps or 32 to 60 volts at 20 amps. Down here at the bottom, we've got the expansion battery port. No wireless charging pads at all on the top. Just hooked up the expansion battery to the power station. You can see the state of charge with these little light wheels right here. And then down here on the main screen, down the bottom corner right there, it tells you state of charge of the expansion battery. Very cool. If power saving mode is turned on, it will automatically detect when something stops drawing power from the unit, and it will shut down the inverter within 15 minutes of not detecting anything. The app is super straightforward. I'm going to cruise through this really fast too. Obviously it tells you the status of your stuff. Right now we're charging it. You got your DC input and your AC input. We can toggle the AC output on and off, as well as the carport. The USBs are always available. You do not need to turn those off and on. And this little clock button here allows you to customize a time for it to automatically shut either the inverter off or the carport. So that's pretty cool. Here we can toggle the power saving mode off and on, and this brightness right here allows you to control the light bar on the unit. And then screen brightness turns the screen off and on. Settings, this is one of my favorite settings, the speed at which the power station charges at, which is sweet. Looks like you can enable the SOS mode on the light from the app here. You can change the brightness of the screen, and then you can change how quickly the screen times out. I'm going for the longest available. You can name the unit, and then a question that a lot of people have had because the old units didn't have this is you are able to connect this to Wi-Fi. So it's not just Bluetooth, it's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi control to the app, which is awesome. We've got the temperature ability to go from Celsius to Fahrenheit. We'll change that. And then you've got the firmware upgrades. Anker's really done a good job with their app. All right, this is my full-size kitchen refrigerator. And if you notice right here, we've got a black cord coming, and we've got it plugged into the Anker F2000, along with its expansion battery. You can see back here, they are both connected. We are gonna see how long these 2 units can run my full-size fridge for. Obviously, we are charged up to 100%, so let's go ahead and turn on the inverter. All right, when you first plug the fridge in, it always goes into a defrost mode, but that doesn't last very long. This fridge usually only pulls about 100 watts when it's actually refrigerating, and then it jumps up to the high 300s when it is defrosting. We're going to make sure that the power saving mode is turned off, because I do not want this shutting down and making my fridge warm up when it turns off on a cycle. And as you can see, it's Tuesday, February 4th at 1:16 p.m. So we'll see how many days this will run the fridge for. Fridge finished to defrost, and now it's just running normally. You can see it's only running about high 90, mid 90 range. We're in the middle of the fridge test, and something worth mentioning that I think is awesome that Anker does is they discharge the extra battery first, thus preserving the full capacity of the power station itself. I think that's far superior to trying to discharge both units uniformly. This just barely died, 8 o'clock on February 6th. So over 48 hours. I'll put the exact amount of time here on the screen that this ran for. Very impressive though. So if you need to run your full-size fridge for an extended period of time during an outage, look no further than this. Now that we've depleted this power station to 0, we're going to see how fast this unit will recharge not only the power station, but also the extra battery. And just to show you, we're going to set it at the maximum charge rate that it can possibly go. And because this screen will time out after 30 minutes and there's no way to force it to stay on indefinitely, I'm going to have the app open here on this phone, and we'll be able to monitor as both batteries fill up. We'll also be able to see the time, even though it's tiny, up here, and once it concludes, I'll be sure and put a timestamp up on the screen so we know how long it actually took. Let's plug her in. Starting out in the mid 200 watt range, it looks like, and we're starting the time at 8:14 p.m. I couldn't find any official documentation on Anker's website or the owner's manual about how fast this should charge. However, I did find on their Amazon listing, it claimed that the main power station unit here would charge from 0 to 80% in 1.4 hours. So let's see if we can get 0 to 80% in 1.4 hours, and then we'll get an idea of how much it takes to go from 0 to 100 on both of these units. So this is good because it's charging up, as we can see on the app, it's charging up the main unit first, and I think it will charge that up fully before it moves on to charging the extra battery pack. Just a quick update here, it is 9:38 p.m. So it's been 1.4 hours since we started, and it's currently at 76%. It did come up just a little short of the 80% mark in 1.4 hours. Again, that was on just the Amazon listing. I didn't find any official claims on the website or in the manual for how long it would take. It was close, but not quite there. Also an interesting observation, I have not seen it go above 1300-ish watts. Even though I have it set to 1440, we're getting about 100 watts less than that continuously. Not sure why. Let's see how it keeps going. Alright, 10:17, and it barely finished charging the main power station. Now it's starting to charge the extra battery. So it took just over 2 hours to charge up that main unit. Alrighty, we have finished charging. I was right here when it finished. It's 12:21 a.m., so just past midnight. And so that means that from 0 to full on both of these units, it took approximately 4 hours, just barely over 4 hours to fully charge them. It is a chilly morning, not even supposed to get above freezing at all today. And we also have a chance of snow, so we've got this Anker F2000 set up under some covering here, and we're going to run the next test via extension cord, so follow this cord. It comes and plugs in right here, and that cord comes up and goes underneath that conduit and comes over here and plugs into my 120 volt mini split heat pump. Now, because today is going to be a cold day, we are going to be running this in heating mode, and we're going to see how long that F2000 power station, along with its extra battery, is able to run this. This is, like I said, a 120 volt mini split heat pump. It's 9,000 BTUs. Got a time-lapse camera right here, trained on the phone. Due to the screen timing out on this, I want to be able to track during the whole process. I anticipate this running approximately 12 hours. Now, one thing that is a little different on this test is I've got both the time-lapse camera and the phone plugged into the power station as well. So we're going to be drawing a little bit of power with those, but not very much. But you can see that with both those on, we're only pulling 3 or 4 watts. All right, let's turn on the inverter. Go back over to the mini split and get it fired up. I've just fired up the mini split. I'm going to have it set to 68 degrees. Our outside air temperature is 27. There goes the mini split. Let's go check in on the power station and see how much power this is drawing. You can see we're ramping up a little bit now. We started out in the low 200s, now we're up into the 400 range. It looks like we've topped out just under 500 watts as that unit has started up. And what you'll notice is it does not stay at that point. It turns on and ramps up to that point, gets going, and then it will ramp down. There you go, you can already see it's ramping down now. So that's the awesome thing about mini splits. They're completely variable. Let's see how much time this is able to heat my room. It's just a single room. It's my master bedroom, but this is the only and primary source of conditioning for that room. And so today's going to be a great test for that. Notice that it is 8:16 in the morning. $8:16 p.m. and it was below freezing all day today, and we got some fresh snow even. Not too much, but a little bit. Let's go see how much power this mini split has used. So check it out, after 12 hours of running, we've still got 33% remaining on the power station. It did deplete the extra battery down completely. You can see that here in the app and as well as here on the screen. That includes the power that these devices used during that time as well. But that is sweet. It kept that room in my house warm the entire day today, even though it was below freezing the entire day. So would this run for 24 hours straight? Maybe, if it was a little warmer. If it was colder, we'd get even less runtime. You can't tell, these tests and the effort I go to for these videos is pretty major compared to a lot of other people. So if that's valuable to you, please at least like the video and consider subscribing. 100% free to you, but they really benefit the channel and helps provide motivation for me to continue doing these in-depth tests that I think all of you want to know, but nobody chooses to spend their time making. Can this Anker Solix F2000, along with its extra battery, run a full-size household vacuum cleaner? Should be a walk in the park for it. Let's find out. Oh yeah, piece of cake. It's only pulling about 1,300 watts, so not bad at all. What if you're in a grid down situation and you want to cook some food? You've got a little electric hot plate. Let's see how this does with this Anker Solix F2000. It's another walk in the park for it. 1,300 watts, piece of cake. All right, check this out. I've got a high-end desktop gaming PC workstation. I've got 1, 2, 3 4K monitors, and that one's running a 4K gaming benchmark. So we've got the PC cranking. Take a look right there. Nothing's plugged into those outlets on that wall. That's because everything is plugged into the Anker Solix F2000 and the expansion battery. So check this out. Pushing the computer really hard like we are, we're pulling nearly 600 watts. And here's the crazy thing. Both the power station and the extra battery are charged to 100%. Look at that, 6.1 hours of runtime based on this amount of power draw. That is fantastic. Now, by contrast, I turned off that gaming benchmark and I'm playing the world's best YouTube channel. There's a trick for that. Go subscribe. This is just kind of simulating, web browsing, email, what have you. So we're definitely not pushing this computer as hard as we were before. And again, we're still not plugged in. And if you come over here and take a look, see now we're only pulling just under 300 watts. And check it out, with both the expansion battery and the power station basically fully charged, we're gonna get about 13 hours of runtime now. And again, my computer consumes more power than most just because I've got all these monitors and I've overclocked the PC. So if you have a more efficient computer, which probably most of you do, you'll get even longer runtimes on this power station than what I've shown you here today. All right, everyone's favorite test. Can this Anker F2000 run a batch of wash for us? By the way, I do not recommend trying to put this up on your machines. It is very heavy and hard. Just did that for easy filming here. This is a gas dryer, so it just uses 120 volts. You can see it plugged in. It's one of these plugs right here. Behind, you can see the 240 volt receptacle is empty. You might be able to see the gas line back there, and then you can see over here that the 120 volt receptacle is empty. So both machines are indeed plugged into the power station. I'm extra excited about testing this dryer. It is extremely hard. It requires a massive amount of surge power to get that drum spinning. You can imagine wet, heavy clothes like we've got in there, and trying to get that going from 0 to 100 basically requires just a massive amount of surge. In fact, out of all the power stations I've tested thus far on the channel, none of them have been able to start the dryer except for one, and that was the EcoFlow Delta 2 Max. This is a direct competitor to that, so I have high hopes for this unit to be able to start this dryer. But there's only one way to find out, right? 3, 2, 1. Ooh, it struggled, but it did it. Now if you saw briefly there, it flashed almost 3,000 watts. Now that it's up and going, it's only pulling 260, 270 watts to tumble it. Great job, Anker. This power station is officially up in the lone ranking of being able to start my dryer. So very, very impressive performance. Let's do this batch of wash, and we're gonna let both these machines run a load, and we'll see what percentage we're at. We do have both units here. Both are at 100% state of charge, and it's going to draw from the extra battery first, but we'll see how much power and capacity a batch of wash consumes. So let's get this wash going. The dryer is going to run for about an hour probably. This washer here is going to run for just over 40 minutes. We'll be back when this washer is on spins mode, and we'll be able to see how much power everything is drawing at that point. We're on spin mode, and if we come over here, you can see we're using 430-ish watts is all. All right, washer and dryer just finished their cycles. And for my particular machines, we only depleted down to 83%. Everyone's machines are different and to run for longer times, shorter times, etc. So I take this a little bit with a grain of salt. This setup right here would easily run multiples of batches of wash for you. Again, so long as you have a gas dryer. Can this Anker F2000 run? Follow this yellow cord. A household microwave. Yes, the microwave is in my garage. I actually don't use it to cook. I just have it here for testing for you guys. Should be a piece of cake for it. Here we go. Fired right up. Let's come down here. Oh yeah, walk in the park for this. Look at that, 1600 watts basically. Not even breaking a sweat. So this Anker F2000 can easily power a full-size microwave. All right, can this Anker F2000 run? Follow this yellow cord. A whole home gas furnace. The way we're getting power into this from the power station is by this green thing right here. This is the EZ generator switch. This thing is awesome. It just has a little receptacle right here and then a little toggle switch to allow you to flip between grid power and generator power, in this case power station power. And I'll leave a link for it down in the description, as well as the link to the video of when I installed this. This works great with any hardwired 120 volt electrical appliances in your house, and it saved me multiple times on this furnace. And we have ignition. The fan is fully up to speed on this furnace. I've got this app open, and if you can see there, we're pulling about 420 watts. We've got extra battery hooked up, sitting at 96% capacity. But check it out right up here. It's estimating 8.5 hours of runtime. That's insane. And that's constant. So 8.5 hours non-stop running this furnace. Most furnaces, unless you've let your house get insanely cold, do not run for 8 hours straight. They'll turn on for a few minutes and then turn off for a few minutes. And then they'll turn back on for a few minutes and then turn back off. So you'd actually be able to get much longer run times off that power station and its battery than just 8.5 hours. Pretty awesome stuff. So yeah, if the power has gone out, I need to stay warm, this Anker F2000 and its extra battery will be my go-to solution. I don't have very many devices that will pull a full 100 watts through these power delivery ports, but I do have one, and you can see we're right there at 98. It's charging this other power station here, and it's actually recording 102 watt input, but that is definitely working well. Of course, Anker can set you up with all kinds of power cords and stuff, but this particular one is from Cable Time, and it can support up to the 140 watt protocol, which I love. But the other cool thing that is my favorite feature, it's magnetic, so it makes coiling it up and storing it very, very easy. So how does this compare to the competition? Well, here's its scorecard, and as you can see, it did a fantastic job on all the tests, with the exception of the 240 volt test, because this does not have a 240 volt inverter. Hopefully I can get my hands on the Anker Solix F3800, which supposedly has 240 volt split phase output, and it might be the first power station to score a perfect score for home backup needs on this scorecard. But everything else in the 120 volt category, this F2000 completely smashed. It did such a great job. It's only the second power station I've tested so far that has been able to start my dryer. Anyway, what do you guys think? I love hearing from all of you down in the comments. I try to read and respond to as many of you as I possibly can. My thoughts are this can power anything that you throw at it across the board. So power-wise, it's got plenty of power. The app is awesome, and it just feels really, really well built. It's just a note of warning that it is a big power station and packs a lot of punch, and as a result, has the weight to back it up. Their design of the wheels and this suitcase handle right there and how it pulls out of the top makes a tremendous difference in moving the power station around. Now you do have to carry the battery regardless, but the battery is quite a bit lighter than the power station is. I'm going to leave a link for this down in the description, as well as a coupon code. Check it out. This is now the second Anker Solix product I have tested and used, and they really don't disappoint. If you can't tell, these kinds of videos take a lot of time and effort, and I do more than the average person testing these does, giving you guys the real scoop on how these work in the real world. If that's a value to you, please consider doing 4 things for me. That's a comment, a like, a subscribe, and a share. 100% free for you, but benefit the channel tremendously, and will help me keep the motivation and the excitement to bring these real-world tests to you that apparently you guys find valuable. But let it show through your actions. I would really appreciate it. We've always got great things coming up you won't want to miss. So stick around for the next one, and we'll catch you all next time.